The rain fell steadily upon the mourners who gathered for Mrs. Helmsworth's funeral. It was a dark, dismal day when Mrs. Helmsworth passed away. The wind howled as the rain battered the manor where the Helmsworth family resided. Charles Helmsworth, the patriarch of the family, was devastated. After a 3-month battle with the consumption that had attacked her petite frame, his wife had finally succumbed peacefully in the night. Her last words to her children were, "I'll always be with you." Her death had left a blight on the manor. To ease his pain, Charles drowned his sorrow with the drink, leaving their 2 children, Abigail and Benton, to fend for themselves. Charles was grief-stricken and became distant and moody, a different man than the loving, caring husband and father everyone knew. The children were heartbroken by the loss of their mother, and now mourned their father, although he still lived. At the grave, the priest recited a prayer. "Man that is born of a woman hath but a short time to live, and is full of misery. He cometh up and is cut down like a flower. He fleeth as it were a shadow, and never continueth in one stay. In the midst of life we are in death, of whom we may seek for succour. But of thee, O Lord, who for our sins art justly displeased. Yet, O Lord God most holy, O Lord most mighty, O holy and most merciful Savior." His words faded from the ears of the family as they stared blankly at the closed casket. Upon the return to the manor, Charles retired to the parlor with a bottle of wine in his hand. He passed out in his chair next to the fire. The children only wondered what would become of their family, so they retired to the bedroom after cleaning up the dining room from all the food the neighbors had left. Weeks had passed, and a somber cloud shrouded Helmsworth Manor in mourning and darkness. The children lingered in silence, estranged from their father. His drinking continued, forcing them to manage independently. Every night was an excruciating affair, as they would lie in the darkness, no one saying a single word, until one evening they heard an unusual clamor downstairs. The children listened intensely, as at first they thought it was their father bumbling around in a stupor. Curious, Benton walked out into the hallway, then peered over the railing and saw his father still asleep in his chair. But he noticed mud trailing across the floor. Seeing a shadow move upon the wall, he became concerned. Benton ran back to the bedroom and shut the door, breathing heavily. "What is it?" Abigail asked curiously as to what had transpired. "There's someone here, an intruder," he whispered. They heard clomping footfalls ascending the stairs. In a startle, they pushed their bed against the door and sat in panicked silence. The footsteps drew nearer and nearer, then stopped at the children's room. An eerie green light emanated from beneath the door. Then the door began to rattle and shake. The children noticed a strong odor when they heard a raspy voice call out, "Children, I've come home." "Mommy!" Abigail shouted. She pushed Benton aside, shoving the bed away from the door, and pulled it open. The stench of the grave violated their senses. Mrs. Helmsworth stood there with open arms. Clumps of dirt, flesh, and worms fell from her rotting body. The children screamed as the corpse spoke. "I'm here for you, children. I'll never leave you ever again."